Thank you.
I have no latitude to do that at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson, and colleagues and friends. At the outset, I wish to thank all the branches, constituencies and the NEC for putting forward constructive proposals by way of motions on the agenda, and obviously during the course of the contribution here tonight, which I as Labour Party spokesperson will certainly take cognizance of as we go forward in our efforts to formulate new policies to combat the current unemployment crisis, which is the worst in the history of the state, and that there is not any prospect that jobs losses will stop in the near future unless the government changes its policy and strategy in a seismic way, and it produces a comprehensive jobs plan which would include a training and income plan, and as stated by my colleague Roisin Shortall, a completely new approach to the needs of the unemployed. Indeed, tonight there have been more practical solutions put forward here, and it gives a lie to the Fianna Fáil and Green proposition that we don't have ideas. We have a multiplicity of ideas, but we wouldn't like to implement them like the way they have continued to support a small number at the expense of the greater common good. The government in its current state of panic is trying to blame the global economic for all our problems. But most people like yourselves understand that the policies pursued by Fianna Fáil-led government over the past decade have left us ill-prepared for the current crisis. I don't wish to lecture you about economic theory, but every first-year student of economics learns that in managing the economy, government policy should be counter-cyclical. That means that as the boom period, the government dampens the boom by controlling spending and, if necessary, increasing taxation. We should not forget here tonight that 250,000 small businesses across the state provide 750,000 jobs. These are the backbone of the infrastructure part of rural Ireland, many of them and our towns and villages. And many people who are members of those SFA and ISME are telling us that the banks will not lend to them. And that you will know that credit is the lifeblood of every business in this state. And they're being denied it. And they're being strangled. And they're being strangled by lack of credit. And indeed, some banks are not even passing on the decrease in interest rates to them. Every way they're being strangled. Now, they're asking us, 7 billion of a recapitalisation plan for the banks. Who is benefiting from that? Or what are they doing? And in one respect, I want to make a proposal. Anglo-Irish Bank, which has been nationalised, there's 30 billion euros available from the European Investment Bank. Let our bank, the National Irish Bank, that's now Anglo-Irish Bank, that's now nationalised, let that be the vehicle by which small businesses can get the lifeblood of this country. Let this bank, which we have paid for, let them now do the work and filter down money so as to ensure the survival of small businesses. We are also aware that start-up grants be made available to people who are unemployed and wish to start up new business. And it's my view that a small business relate scheme, which will be based either on square footage or on turnover, or a combination of both, should be introduced. Don't try and strangle the business before it gets off the ground by landing them with 10 and 15 and 20,000 rates bills. We should have it graduated, 1/10 in the first year, right up for a number of years until they have got up and running and providing jobs. I'm aware that we're also of the view that the insulation scheme, which we propose, by the way, is worthwhile but very limited in scope. Insofar as the key component of such a scheme for our elderly would be the inclusion of the replacement of windows and doors, as they surely contribute to the preservation of heat in the housing stock. And remember, more than 40% of our housing stock was built before 1963, and most of them don't have any insulation. We in the Labour Party would encourage renovation and improve energy efficiency for older houses, and this could be done by reducing the level of VAT for improvement works, or reduce or remove VAT on insulation materials. And we have offered a number of other things. We could our scheme, the Earden and Learning scheme, that would actually be a huge boost. And I have to say, I have a huge number of things that are laid out in a speech here, but I also want to say we want to reform the back to work and back to education allowance. Cut out those lead-in times. If people are 3 months unemployed, let them all into those schemes. Lift the VTOS, increase the number of PLCs, reform the CE schemes. We got so much out of the enhancement, environmental enhancement. All our villages and towns that we go through, they have been improved through the CE schemes introduced by Rory Quinn. And that idea now is more important than ever. I want to say, finally, because the Chairman is getting a bit cross here, there is a problem also in enterprise and employment, and I want to say this to you. Forfos in 2007 wrote a report towards developing an entrepreneurship policy for Ireland, and a major problem in the area of entrepreneurship policy was identified. Whilst one not can deny that the government has giving money to small business and that, and try to encourage entrepreneurship. Too many agencies, bodies and departments are involved in this area. And I just want to ask for a minute here. The Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment, the Department of Education and Science, the Department of Community, Rural and Gaelic Affairs, the Department of Arts, Sports and Tourism, and obviously the Department of Justice, Equality and Law Reform, and finally the Department of Finance. Therefore, it is clear Ireland lacks an explicit and articulated entrepreneurship policy directed at ministerial level. And one commitment we'll give you. Labour and Government will commit itself to bring in all the foregoing responsibilities. All that. It's no wonder people can't get what they deserve. Bring them all under the remit of one minister who would have control of a single department and perform all activities carried out by the variety of departments. The Department of Entrepreneurship Policy will be responsible for delivering various initiatives which impact on entrepreneurs and the environment in which they operate in a cogent and cohesive and clear manner. And so therefore I would ask you that is a commitment that we'll give here, and that we will try and ensure that businesses can keep going and that people can remain unemployed, not promoting unemployment and reform the Victorian laws that they spend more money going around to see ensuring that people are idle rather than ensuring that people get work.